Hey, everybody, welcome to today's show. Welcome to Advocate Information Highway. I'm your host, Anthony Lorito-Duke, and we have two great topics for today's show, in which the first one is both Antifa and white supremacists need to be labeled as homegrown terrorists, and both sides need to be placed in prisons. And the second topic is men have a right to defend themselves against women who hit them first. Okay, so let's get right into the first topic. There's so much violence going on in today's society, and it all needs to stop all across the board. Plain and simple, that's it, end of story. Okay, and what that also means is we need for our elected officials up in Congress, up in Washington, D.C., and in each and every single state as well, need to create strict, and I mean Army drill sergeant strict laws that stipulate that both sides, the Antifa, which is the anarchists, okay, not the peaceful Black Lives Matter protesters, not them, but the Antifa, the anarchists, and also the white supremacists, both sides, need to be labeled as homegrown terrorists, and both sides need to be placed in prisons because both of those sides, are people who just create violence and who only want violence all the time. And we can't have that, okay? Now, both sides place them in prison, and also with both sides, okay, because a lot of these people are the younger generation, the teenagers and stuff. Okay, if you're a teenager, even if you're a minor, if you're within these groups and you are acting violent, you forget the uh, uh, um, uh, forget those that youth jail type of thing. Forget that. It's a luxury hotel. Okay, you put these kids in a real adult prison. They want to act big time, treat them like they're big time. Even if they're preteens, let's say, okay, and they go out and they commit these major acts of violence, tough crap. You don't put them in the junior jail type of stuff. Forget that. You put their asses in a real adult prison. End of story. Okay? Now, with these people in the adult age, okay, on both sides, the anarchists, the Antifa anarchists, and the white supremacists, on both sides, if they are, if they have, if they have kids, okay, take away their kids from them permanently, forever, as well as putting their asses in prison. They lose everything. The whole life's done and finished. Now, are they going to cry like little babies? Absolutely. But the judges have to say, tough shit. You went and did this illegal act. You're crying now like little babies because you got caught and you don't like the fact that you got caught. Now you're being punished and you're being disciplined and you don't like it. Too bad. You'll never see the light of day. Your ass is in prison for years and years and years and years. Your kids are going to get taken away from you because of the simple fact that you went out and you caused violence. And here's the thing. When people say, well, why should we lose our kids or whatever? Because of the simple fact that you went out and you caused violence. Okay? Which means you're a violent person. Now, when you're a violent person, you go out and you commit acts of violence. You can't be around children. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. You can't be out in society and be around your children because you're a violent person and you're endangering the welfare of innocent little children. Plain and simple. That's it. End of story. Okay? Now, when people are going to say, well, what about when you have the children being arrested and put in adult prisons. That's a completely different situation because they're being treated as adults. That's why. Even though that they're the age of children, they're going out and committing adult acts of violence. So if they're going to do that, then you treat them like adults. That go out and commit acts of violence, that go out and commit felonies. You want to act like that, you're going to get treated like you're an adult committing the same type of felony. And that's why. That's the difference. That's the difference. So, forget about the junior jail shit. Forget about juvie hall. It's all luxury hotel crap. It doesn't do shit. You want to go out and commit major acts of violence, and they think they're tough and everything else. They want to go out and commit these acts. Well, then you got to put your big boys and your big girls pants on, and you got to say, well, I have to accept the punishment because I did these acts, and treat them as if they're in the adult age. That's it. That's it. Plain and simple. Now, like I said, for the adults that are on both, on either side, with the Antifa anarchists and the white supremacists, if both sides label them as homegrown terrorists, put them both in prisons, let them lose their children permanently, and that's that. Simple. Now, let's get into the second topic of today's show. Men have a right to defend themselves against women who go and hit them first. Forget about this old type of thinking crap of, men just have to accept being hit by women. Men have to be able to take a hit. Fuck that shit. Get your brain out of your ass. Start to use intelligence for once in your pathetic lives. Stop doing drugs all goddamn day long. Okay? Men have a right to defend themselves against women who go and hit them first. Just like women have a right to defend themselves against men who go and hit them first. Okay? Everyone has a right to defend themselves. And women, there's women out there who think that, okay, we got this law now, so I could just go around hitting every man that I want to, just because I can. No. People have a right to defend themselves. Yes. Okay? Women have a right to defend themselves against men who go to hit them first. Now, men have a right to defend themselves against women who hit them first just as well. Okay? We got to make things equal all across the board. So, these acts of violence just have to stop. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. And it needs to be done from local elected officials throughout each city, state, throughout the United States, and we also needs to be done in Congress up in Washington, D.C. as well. All right? So, anyways, I want to remind all my fans out there about the business that my husband and I have together called AWLDNY. The link to there is awldny.com. And you guys can check out all the products on there. All the products that you see on there, we actually make ourselves. And I also want to remind all my fans out there about my other business, my other website called Advocate Information Highway. And the link to there is AIHNY.com. And you guys can check out all the pages on there. And on the homepage of the website of Advocate Information Highway, you will see the link to my internet store on Zazzle.com, in which I designed a lot of products and they're up for sale on there. And also on the homepage of my website of Advocate Information Highway, you will see the links to the 2 books that I wrote. And if you follow those links, you guys can check out both of my books, and you guys can also purchase both of my books as well. And so with that, take care, everybody. Bye.